Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi my loves, it's Destin Choice and you're watching Choice TV. So today's video we're going to talk about Diddy, P Devil, P Diddy, Sean Puffy Combs, one of the most known diabolical evil people in the entertainment industry for their problematic ways, thievery, and problematic behavior throughout the years. Now as you guys know, Diddy recently got in a lot of controversy because he basically got a lawsuit from his ex-girlfriend of 10 years, Cassie. And we all know Cassie was a big staple back in the early 2000s because of Diddy. And we all know that she was forced on us, she was very untalented, and long story short, she was obviously abused by Diddy. And she was overall Diddy's personal slave. It's a 35-page lawsuit, so I'm not really going to go too deep into what the lawsuit entailed, but basically, Cassie made it very clear that Diddy is a monster. She made it very clear that when Diddy was feeling horny and wanted to be sexually gratified, Diddy would go out of his way and tell Cassie to go looking for male escorts, specifically black male escorts with large penises, and basically, Cassie would be ordered to book them just for them to have sex so that way Diddy could watch and be sexually satisfied watching his woman get digged down. On top of that, Cassie also had a lot of horrible accusations, such as saying that Diddy was out here human trafficking women. Diddy was also giving her busted lips, black eyes, physically assaulting her in front of other people, embarrassing her, slapping her when she would get out of line or get slick out the mouth, and much more. And it even got so bad that Diddy even one time forced himself on her sexually when she refused to have sex with him when she was upset one time. So Diddy evidently was basically described as a monster in the lawsuit, and Cassie was basically trying to get over $30 million from Diddy. So it's very clear that Cassie has a lot of evidence on Diddy, and the big reason why Cassie never really came forth was because she made it clear in the lawsuit that Diddy has a lot of horrible videos of her doing things such as mood-altering substances, drugs, acting irrational on drugs, and he even has crazy videos of her having sex while she's under the influence of drugs. So Cassie definitely went through a lot of shit, and a lot of people, guess what, believe her ass because Diddy has been doing shady things in the entertainment industry for a long time. Diddy even allegedly harassed her and anyone she started dating on numerous occasions, such as Kid Cudi and her past relationships, just so she wouldn't move on and she'd be scared to move on and live her life. She even put in a lawsuit and alleged that Diddy had somebody's car blown up because they were pursuing Cassie. So that's insane. So that's some really dark shit and goes to show you how dangerous Diddy is. So Cassie did what most people wouldn't do. She stood up to Diddy and she was willing to bring evidence. And if this went to trial, there would have been so many witnesses and so many people on the stand that could have vouched for her story. And who knows what other evidence she might have had. But of course, Cassie opened up the floodgates of hell, and now this lawsuit opened the door for a lot of other people to come forth, even though she unfortunately settled. And I will say that I lost a lot of respect for Cassie for a little bit because the minute I saw that she took a settlement, because in my head, I'm like, if he really beat your ass and forced you to shave the side of your head and mistreated you, punched you in the face, raped you, all types of crazy shit, why take the settlement? But then I had to think about it for a second and think about it like this. It's not her job to try to stand up and get justice for all the crazy things Diddy has done to other people, such as stealing people's publishing, violating people's careers, ruining people's lives, and so many more things. Cassie is a living legend for what she did, because not only did she knock down that door for everybody to condemn Diddy, but she also made it evidently clear that now is everyone's time to condemn Diddy for his sins and his crimes. A woman by the name of Joy Dickerson came forth and said that she was date raped by Diddy when she was 19 years old after she agreed to a date back in the early 90s. Then another woman came forth and said that when she was 17, he and one of his business partners basically physically raped her. And there's so many more women that have came forth. There's virtually been at least 3 more women that have come forth, and now things are looking really bad. And as a means of damage control, a lot of companies and endorsements and sponsorships have actually separated themselves from Diddy and the Revolt brand, such as Takora and many other companies such as Hulu. Hulu even had a whole reality family show planned for P. Diddy and his entire family, but unfortunately, the whole thing has been scrapped in the midst of all these allegations. So a lot of people are going to be losing out on a lot of money because of these allegations against Diddy. And this is what I mean when I say the bullshit you do in the dark always comes to the light. And I feel like something deeper is going on. I feel like there's somebody out there that's probably paying all these media outlets to heighten this story and grow it even more. Diddy might have pissed off somebody really powerful. I feel like Cassie was the bulk of it, but there's somebody aligned with Cassie that probably prepared all of this. I feel like even though Diddy is dirty, somebody is definitely out to get him, and I'm definitely okay with this, and so is most of the world. But to make matters even worse, 50 Cent, yes, 50 Cent, who's had a rocky past with Diddy, made it abundantly clear that he's actually working on a documentary to address all the fucked up shit Diddy has done, which is insane because we all know that's going to lead to a lot more people coming forth, because we all know what happened when R. Kelly got that documentary, Surviving R. Kelly. The minute that Surviving R. Kelly documentary came out of nowhere, so many victims came forth. And of course, don't forget about that one infamous moment where somebody left and dropped off a shit ton of R. Kelly tapes involving a lot of minors.
Confirm that earlier today we handed over a second videotape to prosecutors. The videotape depicts Mr. Kelly engaged in illegal sexual assault of a 14-year-old girl. It is approximately 55 minutes in length. The conduct in the tape can be described as nothing short of outrageous, illegal. It leaves no question as to Mr. Kelly's guilt. On the tape, Mr. Kelly repeatedly refers to the victim as having a 14-year-old body part, a vagina, although that is not the word that he uses on the tape. I'm not going to use it here today at this moment for obvious reasons. In addition, over the weekend, we have encountered a number of additional witnesses who we have interviewed, who we are in the process of preparing to meet with prosecutors. Each of these witnesses describe a decades-long system of abuse.
How ironic was all it took was a documentary and a few powerful people speaking out just for all this to come to an end as far as R. Kelly. So you already know 50 Cent's going to stir up the pot. He's definitely going to collect a nice bag. And this is definitely going to be the end of Diddy's empire. It's going to be interesting to see all this unfold because, as we all know, Diddy has a shit ton of enemies. And on top of that, there's been heinous accusations of him doing a lot of evil and horrible things, such as Mace calling him out a couple months ago during a performance when he basically called out Diddy for using a lot of Notorious B.I.G.'s death in order to build his career.
And love don't steal, my nigga, change your name. Come on. And I see no integrity in your name. And I'm haunted by the ghost of St. James, Champagne King. Match my rolling plain chain. You from my burning, nigga. Go rip your own hood. I'm not hating on your Billy worth, no. Right now, I'm only saying what you really worth. You ain't an architect. You just a nigga, not a architect. Go pay his mother what she really worth, nigga.
Despite all the fucked up things he's done, a lot of people throughout the years have been fearful to speak on Diddy and to condemn Diddy for his action. And I want to get on here and talk about why are people so scared to speak on Diddy? I mean, Mace said it himself. Anyone that's associated with Diddy usually ends up running to God, or they usually end up dead.
Mace owes me $3 million. That's facts. I got the receipt.
Yo, I told him he want receipts. Let's start with your mother. Your mother got the receipts. Everything is in your mother's name. That's the one who got the receipts. You need more proof? Biggie ain't here, so Big can't give you no receipts. He dead. Craig Mack can't give you receipts. He dead. What are you talking about? Who else? Black Rob can't give you receipts. He dead. And everybody else you made sign paperwork so they can't talk about what I'm talking about. I'm the only one with the guts to not sign it. Because I ain't need the money. All money ain't good money. Remember that.
And I will say this, there have been people that I've noticed throughout the years that are fearful to even say anything about Diddy. And I want to get down to it. The first person I want to talk about is Winter Blanco. Now, if y'all didn't know, Winter Blanco is the girl from Bad Girls Club. She was known for being a reality TV star, ratchet, ghetto, fighting, all that shit. And long story short, Winter Blanco had an experience where she basically dated P. Diddy's son. And on top of dating P. Diddy's son, she basically had a horrible situation where Diddy coerced her to get an abortion and abort her child that she had with Justin Combs, who's his son. Now, Winter has never said any names, but Winter wrote a tell-all book roughly almost 2 years ago, making it abundantly clear that Diddy coerced her into an abortion that she did not want, and then Diddy tried to bribe her with giving her a music career, giving her money, giving her a boutique, and much more. But recently, Winter went on her podcast called Behind the Likes, and when the conversation of Diddy came about during a pop culture session, she decided to deflect from even talking about Diddy, and she looked horribly paranoid and nervous to even address him.
If you live under a rock, you probably haven't seen it. But if you don't, you have seen the most recent news circulation of Diddy and Cassie's lawsuit. It's actually insane, you guys. The lawsuit happened on the 15th. Cassie filed a lawsuit against Diddy for $30 million. And basically it was saying she's experienced sexual abuse, manipulation. She got MRI scans. She doesn't have half of her memory by Diddy. And so it was a $30 million lawsuit that she filed. And of course, Diddy made a statement and was saying that these are false allegations. She's looking for a paycheck. So I want to know how you feel about that.
The lawsuit?
I did.
Sorry.
She don't want to talk about this.
I mean...
Okay.
I'm just thinking. I know obviously people want us to talk about this. Obviously me and...
So why do you feel like you can't really talk about it?
I feel like there are things that... I mean, people do know some things that have gone on with me, you know, in my younger years. And... Oh, it's just so complicated. Like, it's just like, it's just hard to talk about. And like, it's like people are like people on the internet are like pressuring me to talk about it. Like people are like saying stuff about what I wrote in my books and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, they're like thinking they're putting pieces together and blah, 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 whatever the case. You know, like I dated Justin for years on and off. And, you know, I love Justin. I will always love him. And, I mean, I can say that there's some things that, you know, when I look back on that, they're hurtful. They definitely are hurtful. You know, it's things that I've had to deal with myself. Do I feel like it's on the level of Cassie? No.
Then let's talk about Total. Now, as we all know, Total was a very popular R&B group in the mid to late 90s. They were very successful, had a very good run, had a lot of hit songs with LL Cool J, Biggie Smalls, and many more. But they didn't really last that long, and they didn't have a successful career like they would have liked to, because of course, Diddy eventually shelved them and wanted to move his Bad Boy label into a whole different direction once Biggie died. Now, one of the lead singers of the group, Pamela Long, she recently did a whole tell-all book talking about her whole experience in her childhood, her experience in the music industry, and in a certain chapter, she described her experience with Diddy. She didn't say his name for obvious reasons, but she made it abundantly clear that Diddy was incredibly selfish, used her bag and the bags of other artists to propel his own solo career, and basically dubbed her, even though she was a big reason why the label even went up from the ground up.
Now, obviously, she didn't name Diddy in the book, but in her book, Total Exposure, that you can get on Amazon, this is what Pam pretty much had to say about Diddy, even though she left him nameless. Now, luckily, I managed to find a few excerpts from her book, and this is the gist of what she had to say about Diddy's antics and his behavior. She stated in her book, "I've forgiven you. I can't and won't allow who you are to cause me to become someone different due to your unjust ways. I just have to remain consistent with being the new person I am in Christ and trust God to deal with you justly. I'm praying for you because I want to see you become the man you say you are, but your heart is far from it. Please know that me speaking my truth doesn't negate how I feel about you. I love you and always will. I'm just finally going to be real with myself and call you what I've seen and known for years. Even with knowing something was wrong, I stood by you, standing by you in all the tough times I now see meant nothing, well, at least on your behalf. No kudos to me, I was just doing what family does. I'll never forget the day your right-hand man with the bald head laughed at me and told me I sound just like my label mate who also had been saved by Jesus Christ. Your right-hand man laughed at me because I came to you for a solo deal. I was so confident in God that I was able to be a solo artist who could make you lots of money. I came to you first and I was like, we can do this, but you never even thought to meet with me." She then stated, And after all the years and all the money you earned for my contribution in your life, you wouldn't even give me 5 minutes of your time to converse about my future goals. I called back your right-hand man a week or so later, asking if he had spoke to you, and his reply was, and I quote, "He said he don't want to do it." That crushed me. I knew then I meant nothing to you. 10 plus years later, we saw each other, and you told me we were family, and I believed you, which made me trust everything you said. But little did I know, I was the only one believing that family existed between you and me. By trusting you, I left myself wide open with my guard down for you to plunder me in areas of business I knew nothing about. But one thing I won't do is blame you for everything. I should have done my part in business, and because I didn't uphold such, I got robbed of a lot. Experiences has the potential to be a great teacher, and you have taught me well. With that being said, thank you for all that I've learned. Somewhere along the line, you got tainted, and instead of you helping others reach their dream, you began to steal them. Not sure what happened to you, but I hope you get your heart back of innocence. Closing it out with, learn from a man who has the potential to be such a great teacher. If you weren't so selfish.
And I remember I one time went into her live and I asked her verbatim, why didn't you go into detail about all the problematic and shady things Diddy did to you and the group members? And she immediately hesitated, deflected, and tried to kick in her PR training and tried to immediately pivot away from the question.
Got a couple of things that, I'm doing. Learning how to rest is something that I really, truly, honestly need to do. Yeah, you sleepy too? You sleepy too? Yeah, I need to get some rest. You said you were totally raw, and I was shocked. Please, guys, get the book. Wow, to God be all the glory. You said, why didn't I elaborate about? Oh, okay. Did you? Okay. You know what? It's a couple of things. Like I said, the book is pieces of me. I didn't get into a whole bunch of everything. What it is that I did what it is that God downloaded into my heart, and what He gave me, that's what I put out there. So it's just like I believe that I know that God has already spoken that there is another book that is coming. So I'm looking at myself like. And I'm shaking my head like, God, really? Because I never saw that coming. I don't look at myself as an artist. As an author. I thank God I look at myself as an artist, because I'm a singer. But God knows all things, and I thank Him for pulling out of me what He knows that's going to be of a help to someone else.
Shut up!
Then let's talk about Corinne Steffens. Now, Corinne Steffens, also known as Superhead, is a very popular author, public speaker, and video vixen from the early 2000s. Now, Corinne Steffens was very popular for obviously sleeping around, being a whore, selling her body, and basically prostituting herself in order to pivot and elevate in the entertainment industry. And then she eventually wrote a tell-all book exposing all her lovers. I'm talking about everyone. Fred Durst, Merlin Santana. She exposed her relationship with Ray J, sleeping around with Bow Wow, Lil Wayne, Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal. She talked about sleeping around with Tyga. And she's even been open about who she has had sex with in the entertainment industry on her podcast and during interviews throughout the years. And let me just say that she is very bold, but one thing she did was she never ever really wanted to speak on Diddy. She made it abundantly clear that when the book did come out, somebody out there made it very clear that they were going to get their attorneys involved, and somebody reached out to her because they heard about the book. And fortunately enough, she made it very clear that she wasn't going to say any names, and she was very cautious about what she did say in the book. She did briefly discuss her hookup with Diddy, but she never went into detail about the things that she did see with Diddy, even though she knows that she did see things.
Back in 2005, Corinne Steffens went on Wendy Williams' syndicated radio show, and she had a lot to say about her book at the time that came out back in 2005. And she also made it abundantly clear that she saw a lot of crazy things happening in Hollywood parties, such as a lot of men in the closet. And this is basically what she had to say about Diddy, and she kind of, skipped around it, even though Wendy Williams deep down inside had a feeling she was talking about Diddy.
And when he saw you come in, it was like he saw a ghost, and he immediately asked you why you were there. He thought that you were there to blow up his spot. He then pulled Exhibit aside and asked Exhibit to get you out of the party, that you supposedly had pictures with your fingers up his behind hole.
Well, that's not what he said. I think the quote was that Exhibit relayed to me was, she'll have you on camera with fingers in your booty. And
that might not be Exhibit. Maybe that's you, Puffy. How you doing?
It's not Exhibit. I'll say that.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the quote.
Whose fingers whose behind did you penetrate?
I've never I've never penetrated anybody's behind. There are a lot of behinds being penetrated, but I'm not doing the penetrating.
Okay, you walked in on record executives having gay sex, or one executive having gay sex with a man. Mm-hmm. You don't mention that person's name. Can we talk about what record label?
No, that'll give it away. That'll give it away. But
what letter does it start with?
Not even. That'll give it away.
A.
Don't
B,
start.
C,
Don't start.
D,
That's gonna give
D,
it away.
D.
The second book. I'll cover all that in the second book.
Oh, there will be a second book.
There is a second book.
If you live to tell.
Corinne wouldn't confirm or deny if it was Diddy that she saw hooking up with another individual as a label executive, but it's funny how she doesn't want to obviously out somebody, but it's interesting because she was so quick to kind of out Tigga and go around spreading rumors that Tigga was gay and takes it up in the bud.
That's not true. Memorial Day, Miami weekend, I walked into your hotel room and smelled like straight asshole.
Wow.
And then after 2 hours of sucking your dick, you let me get to the bedroom. I pulled the sheet back so there was blood all over the sheets. And then I seen your asshole and it was cut to the white meat. Let's be honest, Tigger. If we're gonna talk about it, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
That didn't happen. That did not happen.
So open about who she's hooked up with, but why won't she talk about Diddy? Before Wendy Williams got her own radio show and she pivoted towards television, Wendy Williams was actually fired because of P. Diddy.
That was what's worse, hip hop wearing skirts or hip hop being closeted and having a plethora of kids to prove manhood that, and denial of something that you shouldn't have to deny, which is your sexuality. So I hear what Jamar is saying, but we come from a very homosexual era of hip hop as well. There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle. There were many.
Now, Wendy Williams and P. Diddy did manage to get on good terms around the time when she got her talk show. But what's so interesting about Wendy Williams making that, statement is Wendy Williams, throughout the years before her and Diddy got on good terms, she always took little slick jabs about Diddy's sexuality. But it's crazy how she won't outright talk about what she knows. Now, a man who actually used to work for Diddy, who was a confirmed security guard for Diddy, has been going on several press runs throughout the years, making it very abundantly clear that Wendy Williams actually had secret archives of Diddy doing something very inappropriate. Well, this was basically what he had to say.
Puff got one of the hottest DJs off of Hot 97 because she wanted to put up a picture of him getting his pants pulled down. You understand what I'm saying? Puff had power.
Speaking of that, right, I'm happy you brought that up. Kirk Burrows, I did an interview with him some months ago, and he told a story about Wendy Williams. She got fired from Hot 97 because she had a picture of Puffy, and she was saying on air that she was going to reveal the picture. If you don't mind, because he told me the story, but he didn't go into detail. He never told me about what was in the picture. So if you don't mind, give me the story from your point of view, and what was in the picture.
For whatever reason, dude was playing with Puff. He went behind him and grabbed his trunks and pulled them down. When he grabbed his trunk to pull them down, some girls in it was taking pictures. They took that picture and emailed it back to Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams said she had him in a compromising position and like it was gay porn or something like that. And she was going to put it out. So they stopped her from putting it out.
And they got her fired from Hot 97 because of that.
She's showing people that email. Puff told Hot 97 if they didn't get rid of her, you understand, before he got back in New York, that they was not going to get any music from any of his friends, any of the record labels executives that was cool with him. Everybody was going to boycott their station.
How the fuck did he have that much reach back then to have Wendy Williams fired? But it just shows me that something deeper and something scarier is coming, and Diddy isn't valuable anymore to the Illuminati. He's not very valuable to a lot of these dark forces that were once using him. He's not profitable anymore. Now he's at a point where he's basically disposable and people throw him away. Because again, I always attribute it to the whole Harvey Weinstein thing. The reason why Harvey Weinstein was so popular is because Harvey Weinstein had people protecting him. The reason why Harvey Weinstein became the monster that he was is because people allowed this monster. There were a lot of women who were willing to do all these crazy things he wanted them to do because they wanted to get on in the entertainment industry. There was a lot of women who were told, you know, come to my hotel room, you know, give me a little tug and rub, you know, I'll give you this part. And guess what? Many of these women did it. People are willing to literally turn a blind eye to a lot of things because it's very difficult to make it as an entertainer. It's very difficult to build a substantial career in the entertainment industry. On top of that, Harvey Weinstein had a lot of ties on a lot of different platforms. Like, he was very intertwined with the black community. He was kicking it with the Wayne brothers. He's a big reason why we even got Scary Movie. He's a big reason why we got Charlie's Angels. He's a big reason why we got Scream. He's a big reason why we got so many films. He was well acquainted with Oprah Winfrey. He was well acquainted with all these major head executives. And that's why Harvey Weinstein never get held accountable.
Now, just like Diddy being scandalous and being a known predator in the entertainment industry, let's not forget that this also happened with Harvey Weinstein. Before Harvey Weinstein got taken down, there were already rumors about him, there were already articles about him, and there were already people who spoke out against him. Most famously, Courtney Love.
Harvey Weinstein would like to do a private party in the Four Seasons downtown.
Love tweeted Saturday saying, although I wasn't one of the victims, or one of his victims, I should say, I was eternally banned by CAA for speaking out against Harvey Weinstein.
Ironically, she made a slick remark about Harvey Weinstein being a predator. No one listened to her, but of course she was banned from ever saying anything. So the reason Harvey Weinstein became the monster that he was is because, like I said, people allow these monsters to become monsters. So when you don't speak out against somebody doing something evil and heinous, or you don't call them out on their shit, you better believe that monster's gonna be bigger and bigger and bigger, and you'll literally have to live with kind of the guilt to watch somebody with so much influence, so much power, destroy things. It's one thing if you're a victim and you don't want to speak out, but it's another thing if you help this monster by aiding in their behavior or ignoring their behavior. You have to hold these monsters accountable if you see something. Manager, bosses, executives, you see it, call it out, tell somebody, because then we end up in situations like this. But oh wait, I forgot. They can't call out Harvey Weinstein because Harvey Weinstein helped build their careers, and they're still reliant to pay their bills on Harvey Weinstein's legacy. Harvey Weinstein's legacy plays a role in why a lot of people can even pay their bills. So why would they call them out when someone like Harvey Weinstein elevated them? So of course a lot of people are going to turn a blind eye and be like, well, that has nothing to do with me. He won't do that shit to me, or they should have been more careful. All well. And now it turned into a ripple effect where now I bet everybody else is clutching their pearls and everybody's looking over their shoulder, because any moment, any minute, a lot of these predators in the entertainment industry can get their moment. It can be Tom Hanks. It could be the guy Steven Tyler from that group Aerosmith. It could be Trey Songz. Any moment when you're deemed as useless and you get taken down by a powerful force, it's over.
Social media has been the biggest blessing in disguise, because now the celebrities in the world can't really take control of the media anymore. They can't really do damage control because now all of us are virtually the media. So if anybody like a celebrity or a big politician tries to sweep something under the rug and try to control the media, now they can't, because most of us can actually do our own research, screenshot things, and share things and repost things, because all of us play a big role in the media. When you're evil, sadistic, manipulative, and you do your best to try to climb on people and throw people to the wolves and try to climb on top of people and throw people down, the same people you see on your way up is the same people you'll see on your way down. The same people that you shitted on, it'll come back to you tenfold, because karma is so real. That's why you never shit on people. That's why you never do people dirty. That's why you never backstab people. And that's why you never tell people it is what it is. I did what I did. Because it'll always come back to you, because those same bridges that you burn, you may need to cross them one day. Because notice that one person has came out recently and tried to defend Diddy. Notice not one person has came out and said, none of that is true. Diddy would never do those things. Not one person. Because Diddy did this to himself. He built his own reputation and he basically dug his own grave. Diddy did help a lot of people, but just because you help people, that doesn't mean you should go around mistreating and abusing people who can't benefit you. A lot of the things Diddy did was for his own benefit. And even though he did propel a lot of people's careers, Diddy's moment and Diddy's time has finally come. And deep down inside, I know something scarier and something deeper is out to get him. I feel like there's somebody out there who's pushing all this stuff in the media, who's encouraging and rallying up all his victims, and eventually it'll all come crashing down. I mean, look at Russell Simmons. There was a point in time where Russell Simmons was public enemy #1, and low-key he still is, and he hasn't fully recovered, because Russell Simmons allegedly sexually abused so many women, and then a lot of them squad up and eventually exposed him and condemned him. And now look at Russell Simmons. All his legacy is diminished because of the allegations all these women rallied up and brought up against him.
We are living in a crazy era where a lot of empires are crumbling thanks to social media. Social media, truth be told, is a blessing in disguise because now a lot of people's voices are amplified. Danny Masterson from That 70s Show recently got condemned because, as we all know, he got sentenced to 30 years to life in prison for raping women and being an overall predator in the entertainment industry. So to see his whole entire legacy crumble, to see them go through all this, just show you that everything will always come to the light.
Because I feel like things are getting deep, things are getting dark, and it's all going to come downhill from here. And not only will he suffer for the allegations, but also his children will also suffer. Children will always pay for the sins of their parents. Diddy is finally getting his moment, and I can't wait to see what happens in 2024. But that was that for this video. Hope you guys like, comment, subscribe. Give your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Let me guys know what you guys overall thought about my thoughts. Let me know what you guys thought I should have mentioned. And overall, let me know what you guys think about Diddy's legacy. And overall, where you think all this is going to go. And yeah, that's that. Choice out this bitch.
Every step I take, every move I make, I'll be missing you. Ooh, yeah. Every move I make, every breath I take, I'll be missing you. I'll be missing you. I'll be missing every move I take, every breath I take, every move I make, every breath I take. That's all you get for free. Like, comment, and subscribe.